Many sellers ask, when will I know if my offer has been accepted or counteroffer? Or I accepted an offer on my home, now what? Can I still show my house after accepting an offer? How long after the offer is accepted is closing? Today we have answers to those questions and more. Hi, I'm Laura Clute with Ozark Gateway Realty, and I work with lakefront sellers who are animal owners in Cherokee Village, Arkansas. Congratulations! You got an accepted offer. I'm sure one of your first thoughts is, when will I get my money? After closing? That is not a cut and dry answer, unfortunately, but most of the time you will walk away with a check in hand at closing. But before we get to the money, let's back up a little bit to you just got an accepted offer. Your agent will provide you with a printed copy of the offer, so you can see both you and the buyer and the seller have accepted it. Maybe not printed, they might email it to you. First, after the offer is accepted, the buyer will pay their earnest money if it's part of the offer. Next, they will do an inspection. You, as the seller, can continue to show your home until closing day because that's the only time you're going to know that it's actually sold. But that's up to you as a seller to decide what you're going to do. This gives the buyer the chance to do their due diligence and make sure that they're completely sure that they want to buy the home. Any offers made after the first offer will be secondary to the first offer accepted, unless if it's in the offer that is specifically different, that the first offer gets knocked out if the second offer comes in. You want to make sure as a seller for an inspection that the utilities are on and any issues you know about are repaired before the inspector comes, because they are going to flag them. Inspectors will take several hours because they are going to be very detailed about doing their inspection, and you may have more than one person come in and do the inspection. You may have a roofer, a septic inspection, a termite inspection, so just be prepared for more than one appointment, and if you can't accommodate them, I'm sure that your agent can. The buyer will have 10 business days to request a list of repairs after the acceptance of the offer. Then you'll have a time period after that to consider them. But if you do agree to make repairs, make sure that you get them done timely so that it doesn't delay the closing at all. Secondly, it's time to pack. You probably already started packing when you listed your home for sale by decluttering, getting rid of knickknacks and personal belongings, but now it's time to get serious. You want to pack everything up in your home and make sure that you don't leave anything behind. But you may make a list of things you don't want to take, like the buyer may want to keep the lawnmower or the really big credenza in your living room that you don't want to break down and ship out. So just make a list for them, see if they're interested in them, and if they're not, then you gotta take them with you. Also keep in mind the closing date is a goal. It's a moving target that can be changed by repairs, supplies, appraisal, lender, closing agent, any of those reasons. So make sure that you're in communication with your realtor and that they make sure that you know what the actual date is and that you do have a clear to close before you finalize your moving plans. And also make sure you have a place to go. Where are you going to put all that stuff? Are you staying at mom's house? Are you going to a new home? Hopefully that you have a new home in a new place and they take as good a care of it as you did of yours. So just make sure that you do have a place to go, and only please remove what you agreed to. Don't be like the movie that Richard Pryor was in called Moving from the 80s, where they took the stairs and the kitchen cabinets. Hilarious movie, but nightmare for a realtor. So just make sure, like if in the contract the washer and dryer was included, or the window air, that you leave them with the home and don't take them with you. Once you get your packing started, it's time to hire a mover or order a truck if you decide to do it yourself. Please get your quotes in writing. I've heard horror stories lately about when you call in and get started, they'll give you a few $1,000 quote, but when they show up, it's more like $10,000 or $15,000 to move. So who wants to pay that? So it's best to get your quotes in writing and be prepared for a change if conditions change. Also schedule your move a few days before closing if possible. It gives you a chance to make sure everything's out, give you a chance to do a really good clean so the house is just like you would want it to be when you moved in. Make sure you double check all the corners, closets, and cabinets, that everything is out, under the crawl space, in the garage, in the shed, so you don't leave anything behind. And make sure you lock up because you are still liable for the property until the deed is signed and paid for. Time is of the essence, so it is important that you sign anything that your agent gets to you All documents in the process are timed, so they can expire, and it's important that you sign them as soon as we get them to you. I don't expect you to check your email daily, and usually if I send you something, I'm going to text you or call you and let you know it's there to sign. But just please be aware that it is important that you sign them as soon as possible. And along that same lines, make sure that you answer phone calls or messages so that we can make sure that we stay in contact. If you have to leave suddenly, it'd be great if you let us know so that if we can't get a hold of you, we would understand why. But it is important because you never know what, like I said, what's going to change throughout the process that we need to delay or need to do a repair, or maybe something happened to the house while you're out of town that we need to get in touch with you. So please answer your calls, text, emails, whatever your preferred communication is. Let your agent know so they know how to reach you. And also make sure that you're getting your repairs done timely so that it doesn't delay the closing at all, and that they're done correctly or by a professional so that we can make sure that the buyer gets what they asked for. I'm sure the buyer would appreciate it if you leave important stuff behind, like manuals, warranties, receipts, remotes, anything that belongs to anything that's left behind. Leave it in an easy place to find, like the kitchen countertop or just a kitchen drawer, and make a list of previously used companies or vendors that are familiar with the house. Who put the kitchen faucet in? Who put the heat and air in? Who put the deck on? These people are going to be possibly new homeowners, possibly new to the area, and may just want to have somebody that's familiar with the house to work on it. So I'm sure they would appreciate a list of people that you work with, and a phone number is a great bonus, so that they can reach out to them when they have issues of their own. It would be even better if you can do a final walkthrough with the buyer. This gives you a chance to show them any quirks, like which switch goes to the fireplace and which switch goes to the dining room light. It just gives them a chance to get a little bit of a personal touch before you finally hand over the keys. Please make sure to communicate with everyone throughout the process, not only your realtor, but other people in the process like the title company. They will need the mortgage payoff, and only the seller can get that to them. They will also need information about trust documents or death certificates if that applies to your property. It'd be really great too if you shut off all the water valves when you leave the property, and just make sure the buyer knows. Again, communicate. So when they show up and they turn on the kitchen faucet and it doesn't work, they know why. Closing is usually 30 days after acceptance, but sometimes with a FHA, VA, RD loan, a government loan, it can be 60 days, and unfortunately sometimes it can be longer if there is delays, like I said, with the repairs or the appraisal or the documents. But you did sell your home, and you'll get paid. Once the buyer has paid, the lender is paid, and the deed is signed and recorded. You need both the buyer and seller for the property to be closed. It's usually the day of closing, unless the buyer or seller have to mail their documents in because they weren't at the closing table. But sometimes you can still get your payment that day, depending on if the title company gets the documents out ahead of time or not. Don't forget to cancel your insurance. You need to get more money back by canceling your insurance as soon as closing is done, but don't wait, or you won't get as much back as you thought you were gonna. And also cancel your utilities, subscription services that come to the house, and get them a change of address. Family, friends, me, and utility companies, again, subscription services, all of them need your change of address so they can send you the final bills, so you don't get messed up there. Today we answered some questions like, I accepted an offer on my home, now what? And when does a seller get money after closing? Hope these steps after your offer on a house is accepted keep you on track for a smooth closing. If you still have questions, check out the download below, What to Do After Accepting Your Buyer's Offer.